Hi, Tim here. This is a flight report from a flight from Copenhagen to Bangkok. The type of aircraft is a 777-300. The carrier is Thai Airways. The flight time is about 11 hours. As you can see, it was a pretty cloudy day in Copenhagen. However, the weather did get a lot better. It was a pleasant flight for the most part. I'm just going to take you through some of the amenities and services that you will get at Copenhagen. So if you fly business class or you have the right credit cards, you'll get access to the SAS, which is the Scandinavian Airline System business class lounge. For the most part, I think that the lounge was quite satisfactory. The size, the decor probably was very good. Unfortunately, I think the decor was the best part of the lounge, but these are all subjective views, I suppose. The cold foods were great, but when you compare it to some of the other lounges, certainly it was lacking good hot food, but I suppose it's up to taste, really. The only hot food that they did offer would be a warm potato and leek soup, I think it was, which was quite nice. The salads and the pasta, were of a good quality. I just would have liked some warmer food, I suppose. As you can see, I'm just showing you the decor because I thought the layout and the interior was quite sophisticated and modern. But I suppose it's about substance, really, when you think about these lounges. So you just saw some internet services. This at the back of the lounge. I'm just taking you quite quickly. Unfortunately, some people just don't like you filming in general, and you have to understand that. That's looking back into the main section. Here are some private meeting rooms which you can use. I suppose you're going to have to book them if you want. I'm just going to go to the back corner of the lounge. And there's some showers there as well. Okay, so this is back at the front of the lounge, the main seating area. I just want to show you a pan shot of the size. It's certainly, kept very neat and modern. Okay, upstairs, of course, is the first class lounge. So there's obviously a difference between first and business class, as some of you might know. All right, so I boarded the aircraft on time. It was a pretty good departure time, and Thai Airways stuck to their time as mentioned on the ticket, so that was a definite positive. The layout is a 1-2-1 layout. For the most part, it was a very comfortable flight. I found the seating certainly up to business class standards. Some might say that the decor of the aircraft is a little dated, especially with the wood finish. But I certainly have no complaints. I thought it was a pretty good flight, especially if you think of the price that you'd pay for Thai business class. I think it's a very competitive price. The service is excellent. I would have paid around about $5,500 Sydney Copenhagen return. I think that's quite competitive. So I'm just showing you the seat arrangement. It's in a yin-yang formation, so basically where my feet go in to make the bed, the person in front of me, that'll be their cabinet space, so to speak, where you see that piece of wood finish. That's the centre aisles. There were two sections of the business class cabin divided by a galley, and it was about 50% full. That's the economy section. I just thought I might show you and compare what they look like. That's the bulkhead seat. A bit more room there. I couldn't get the price increase for the bulkhead if there was one. I suppose it'd be pretty in-demand seats considering it's a pretty empty flight. All right, so I just want to show you a few of the seat functions. There was some glare. Sorry for the sunglasses. I thought that for a touch screen, it was pretty sensitive. It was pretty good, quite responsive. You could use a remote, but sometimes these touch screens get a little bit used because people just prod them and poke at them. But for the most part, I found this quite sensitive, so it did work quite well. in the next couple of minutes, I will just get back into the seat and just show you some of the advantages and disadvantages. I'm trying to get into the seat and show you some different positions you can sit in to see how effective it was. But before I do that, I just have to give you a size-weight ratio. So I'm 182 centimeters tall and about 95 kilos, maybe in pounds, maybe 220. So sometimes, being of that size, sometimes the business class seats can be a little bit restrictive. So I'll just try and show you. I didn't have any problems. I just thought I might show you some of the issues I might have had. Okay, so you don't have to touch screen if you don't want to. You can just use your remote, and you can lay back on your seat and use the remote without actually moving forward. That's an obvious benefit. The design is pretty good, even though the aircraft's quite old. I thought I might take a little nap before lunch, so I delayed my service, and they were quite accommodating. Some airlines are not. I got the bed out into a full flat bed. I didn't use a tripod. I'm just using my phone here. Obviously, I'm finding this amusing. Okay, so in terms of being able to sleep, as you can see, I'm quite comfortable there. I didn't find it too restrictive. Obviously, it's a bed, and I'm very appreciative. I understand these are first world problems, but for the most part, if you're considering this type of design for your business class flight, well then, are you going to fit, so to speak? So I have to use my left hand here. You can't really use your right hand to sort of, figure across and touch the seat controls. I'm moving it forward and back, so you can move it forward and back depending on how you would like to be seated. So there was, quite a few options there in terms of how you could maneuver this particular seat. I'm just trying to get into a comfortable position. You could fold your arms and still not be restricted. It was a little tight, but certainly, very comfortable. I suppose the other option is I could lose weight, but, for the most part, I'm just trying to show you how the seat works and how much space you will actually have in this particular seat configuration, so to speak. If you were to, use a tablet or read a magazine or a paper, there's still enough space to do so. And of course, being in the last seat, I always request the last seat. I just find that the most private for some reason. Everything works pretty well. Alright, so I'll just attempt to move the seat up. Okay, you can even lie with your hands back. You can see my forearms just touching the sides a bit, but I suppose I really have nothing to complain about. Just trying to give you an idea. Alright, so the glare got a little better. I'm just trying now to maneuver that seat back up again. Alright, there you go. Yeah, not camera shy there. Alright, and back into seat position. So, I really can't fault it. I had enough comfort for the 11-hour journey from Copenhagen to Bangkok, and certainly I'm happy to fly Thai again, so to speak. Okay, so there was a pretty substantial amount of alcoholic beverage you could choose. I mean, I thought the standard was quite good. I do enjoy single malt Scotch whiskies and cognac. I chose to get a cognac this time. I do apologise for forgetting the name of it, but it was the same one that was on my Sydney to Bangkok section of this flight. So I'm sure that that would be the manufacturer or company that they would go to. So I'm sure you would get the same type of cognac on your Thai business class flights. I certainly was satisfied with the quality. That was given with some nuts and some dried fruit as an accompaniment. That was the drinks service at the start of the flight. Noise cancelling headphones, earphones, I find them invaluable. It's very hard to sleep on your side with them, but I certainly put them on and have something very light playing, I do find it takes away the engine sound to about 90%, I think, so it's pretty good. Okay, so first course. There were two options because this first course contained goat's cheese. Obviously, some people don't. Sorry for the shaking there, it was too much. Some people just don't like goat's cheese, but I love goat's cheese, so certainly. And the quality was good. The prosciutto was tasty. There was some frisee lettuce, garlic bread. Okay, so this is actually at the end of the flight. I just thought I'd put this early just because I wanted to talk about it. This is the breakfast coming into Bangkok, so at the end. I just wanted to show you the night, and I apologise for my feet. So this is the actual sleep lighting you're seeing at the moment. So the cabin goes to this sort of off purple jacaranda type colour, and that's supposed to make you sleep. I don't know how effective it was. I can generally sleep on a business class flight regardless, but if it works, well then that's good for you. I just want to click the light on here, there you go, and that's what it actually looks like if the mood lighting wasn't, and there's quite a noticeable difference. I actually find some people find it a little bit off-putting, that strange purple, but certainly I didn't mind. I thought that's a pretty standard continental breakfast. There was a warm breakfast on offer, but I didn't choose that one. Okay, so the amenities kit. There are variances in the amenities kits you get on Thai flights, but for the most part they're pretty good. That was a Furla, F-U-R-L-A. They also have a brand called Greyhound, which they're using some other flights. Main course was excellent. I think if you fly a good Asian airlines, you go for the local foods, and they do a very good job of it. Certainly, I really enjoyed that. I think it was massaman curry, spicy eggplant. I actually quite liked this Coke can. It was a signature Coke can from the Soccer World Cup. Obviously, Coke had a promotion, and they had, cans in different colours, supporter colours. This was the Argentinian one. It was in Russia this year, and that's the Argentinian supporter can. But I'm not Argentinian, but I thought it was quite nifty and quite novel, so to speak. There was also a spicy chicken curry and some dressing, some soy dressing with green chilli. On all of my legs flying Thai, I went with the Thai cuisine. I thought it was excellent. So, but you do get a Western option as well. Okay, so this is interesting. So this is just before breakfast, actually. So again, out of whack the order, but that's okay. I couldn't get, after about 2 hours sleep, I woke up and I just felt a little hungry, and I went to the galley, and they were so accommodating. They just said, look, we'll make you a nice soup made to order. They gave me a few options, and that put me right back to sleep. It was great, really good service. Cheese platter to end lunch. I've been on multiple business class flights, but sometimes the cheese platter can be left wanting, so to speak. That's dessert. That was a pretty good dessert. You've seen better, you've seen worse, but I was certainly happy, I was satisfied. That was a chocolate mousse with I think it was a biscuit bottom and berry coulis as a base. I certainly thought overall it was a very good flight. I have certainly no complaints. I hope that this was informative. I hope you subscribe. I only have 3 videos. I just do this a bit of a hobby, but I will be taking a flight to Perth this Christmas. I'll be flying Virgin business class, I think on a 737-8, and then coming back on a A320. I'll be doing a comparison video. Just a quick cabin shot. I went back to bed after that. It was still there was still light outside, so I don't know how effective that mood lighting was, but I just want to show you how much feet you have when you put your feet into the cabinet. There's a fair amount of space there, I thought. Some people, actually comment about how much space you get when you fly business class on these particular flatbeds.